Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wavemakers Podcast, where we feature people's stories at the intersection of maritime, digital transformation, and decarbonization. My guest today has over 20 years of experience in port operations and terminal management. So today we will be taking a look at the story behind the port perspective. She has worked on projects with Port of Beirut as well as formed IT strategy for the terminal of NEOM. And besides that, she's been quite active in the WISTA society in UAE. So I would like to welcome today Sarah Haidar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gordana. It's a pleasure also to see you always.
Thank you. So in your own words, who is Sarah?
First, let me thank you for having me with you today. It's always great to see you, specifically here in Dubai regularly. And this is just an indication how much Dubai has become a hub and a maritime hub for professionals in our industry, and specifically when we talk about subjects of digitalization and carbonization. So thank you again, and great to see you. So about myself, as you said, thank you for the introduction. I'm Sarah Haidar. I am a professional in the maritime industry, specifically have been working in port and container terminal management for the past 20 years. When it comes to me, hard work and teamwork are core in everything I do, in addition to evaluation. And to tell you more about it, I believe that hard work is very important to get where you want to go. It's about the number of hours you put, and anything you have, any goal you have, you can achieve. I think it's all about teamwork, getting people together to problem solve things and achieve the objectives. And I think I'm really good at having the balance of evaluating the pros and cons of the different options when it comes to decision making, and I've developed this a lot over the past years, specifically in the industry. So that's in a nutshell. Away from work and my personal view, I'm also passionate in supporting women in the industry, and playing as a role model to showcase women among us. And as you said, I've been very much involved in different associations, WISTA, UAE, and where we are supporting women and showcasing them in UAE and the region.
What was your story of coming to shipping? How come you ended up in the maritime industry?
I mean, I graduated from completely a different background. I'm a finance investment analysis graduate. I just applied to a position in the Port of Beirut back then, and started completely in my domain, in my profession, and then I just got hooked with the industry because of there's a lot to learn, and this is something I love. I like a lot of people to meet and engage with, and as I said, I too much like this collaboration and teamwork. So yes, I mean it's all about the learning, the continuous learning that you would have to put in to learn this industry. Something new to me, learning what's a container, how does it move, a vessel, all these details. They were very interesting, and I just got attached to it. And I always, when I talk to people, I tell them it's either you like it and you stick to it, or you just don't like the industry. and it's how volatile it is, how much it is changing, how much it is dynamic as well, and how much it needs a lot of quick decision making, but at the same time you need to weigh how things are moving. So yeah, I mean, I just liked it. I just and started learning a lot, and this is how I shifted gradually to different roles, from business development to project management, and learning about the operation and all these things within the industry.
Do you have any interesting story from back in the beginning?
I mean, a lot of interesting stories, a lot of challenging ones as well. But as I was telling you, I mean, if you look at it from the outside, it looks like, oh, it's a very simple process. It is all about the ship comes, you discharge a container, and then you just ship it back, or you deliver it to the customer, and that's it. But then when you look at the details, it's very complex. It involves a lot of getting people together, and getting all these components together, from technology to equipment to people, as I said, and all this is not easy. But as a specific story, I would say it is just being able to to be dynamic and always active. And in my role as a woman running a port, running a terminal at some points, it was always surprising and interesting when you get a call at 3 a.m. The first thing, I never put my phone silent because it can ring at any time. We are running a 24/7 operation, so you have to be alert all the time. That was that was one of those things that you need to be very active all the time and alert. And at the same time, you will have to have this work-life balance as a woman with 2 children and family. Yeah. So this was, all these challenges were challenges, but at the same time, they were always pushing me to give more and to move forward in the industry in general.
It happens also with my podcast scheduling that sometimes people are like, hey, something happened, we need to urgently act, and I need to cancel it or reschedule it. Yeah. And it is a reflection of how dynamic it is, and it can just ring at any point, right? You don't know when you have free time or not.
Definitely.
And how did it change you? How did you see yourself evolving as you were also learning more about it and moving up and gathering the years of experience?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's a lot of learning. There's a lot of learning, that you need to learn. And what I've established over the years is that you need to be flexible. You need to always think about how you create things that are flexible, and you need to be always embracing change. This industry is somehow, let me say, labeled as an industry that is traditional, conventional, that things are happening in process and things are not evolving. But no, the industry is now changing, and that's where you as a person need to, as a person and as an organization you're working with, you will have to also embrace this change and be flexible to it, and always think outside the box and be innovative. And for that, you need to be up to date of what's happening around you, and you need to be able to also learn and educate yourself about the different evolutions that are happening around, even though in the country, for example, that you are in, or in the organization you are in, this is not the case. But you will have to be up to date, otherwise you will be out of the game, let me call it like that. So yes, I've learned a lot to be flexible, to be always adaptable to change. And the most important thing that has developed within me is also when you're taking decisions. So you will have to consider all the options, because we work in an industry that we believe is based on core principles of safety, efficiency, and safety, quality, and efficiency. So you cannot only just serve your clients and turn around the vessel very quickly and that's it. You have to think first safety. Safety has to be the first thing you think about. And this is what we tell all the people that work with us. And this is what we teach and we basically lecture, let's say, or we market in our industry. And specifically when you're talking about ports, where you have high-risk environments, whether on the vessel or on the ports, a lot of machines working, etc. So yes, you have to think about safety, and then how you deliver a quality service, and definitely how to be efficient. And this is where you need to be having not only cost reductions, but like being efficient in terms of your carbonization, all these things coming around now, how you have to be using less resources with doing more and so on. So this is where you need to be very, start being very, call it like evaluating things quickly as well, because real-time decision making is also important.
Yes, it is interesting how you need to balance, again, the priority of ensuring safety and then providing something at a better service, with a better service, at more improved times and more efficiently. And the standard is being so high right now. I think it's really asking us to squeeze ourselves as much as possible, but
Exactly.
to do it in a very open way.
Definitely.
And how would you compare the environment, for example, here in UAE compared to Beirut?
I mean, yes, definitely. I mean, as I was saying in the beginning, the UAE has its scalability, definitely. We're talking about a different scale. I mean, definitely, I cannot not mention that in Lebanon, when I first started, the industry was very new. And I think we were proudly able to place the port of Beirut on the list of top 100 ports in the world. And I'm proud that I've been a part of this, and I've witnessed the growth of Port of Beirut over the years. So yeah, definitely Beirut does have an existing industry now, existing workforce that knows the industry, and this is something that as a Lebanese I'm proud of. Unfortunately, due to the different situations that Lebanon has been passing through, this has not evolved as it should. But switching to Dubai and the UAE, definitely. I mean, I'm relatively new here, so I can't speak a lot about the industry here. But what I've seen, what I've been involved in, I'm very proud that I'm part of this industry here, and I feel I'm lucky to be here as well, because today UAE and Dubai specifically has become a hub for the industry, featuring one of the top ports in the world in terms of volume and throughput, getting together people from different industries, and also featuring the most important events in the industry as well, and in other supporting industries, whether we're talking about technology and IT, artificial intelligence, and even energy conferences that are very much important and supportive to our industry. So yes, having this exposure by itself is really important, and has shaped me as well in terms of my career in general.
And we briefly touched upon WISTA before we entered the room, and you said that even within these 4 years you have seen it evolve here quite a bit. So I would want to ask you to elaborate on that as well.
When I started here, basically WISTA has been also newly established when I started, and I directly joined them, and was made sure I'm very active with everyone in WISTA. WISTA has evolved throughout the past 2 years so far, with engaging, having a large number of members today, featuring around 100 members, and we are still growing, where we are also getting people from different sectors within the industry. We are proud actually to have a lot of people within a lot of women within the industry also in WISTA. WISTA in general has also given me, as someone new in the UAE, this exposure to a network of professional women here in the UAE. So yes, I mean, it has been evolving, as I said, and it created a network that of professional women that are very strong, very effective, very eager to support each other and to showcase women within the industry in a great way, actually.
And you are there involved a lot with marketing, external relations, with the community building part of it through events and organization of them, right? And then I noticed that in your professional work, you also enjoy this whole team building and stakeholder management. And I just find it to be such an interesting parallel.
Yeah, it just happened by, I think it's just sometimes it's synergies that get to attract you, you know? And yes, true, you just quoted.
Yeah,
it is.
In the beginning, you mentioned at the very beginning that team building and team is a very important element.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly believe I'm from those that believe it's not only about soul success stories, you know, like it's not only about me succeeding, it's also about having the right team around you, a good, talented, professional team that support you is a key, specifically in, as I said, in our industry and what I've worked in. It's never that you know everything. But it's how you get to get the best out of your team, basically, and so so that's true.
So with that, I will ask you, which vessel are you and why?
Okay, I would choose to be a cruise vessel. I think because the cruise vessel is like creates a space for everyone to be there. Like it's a lively vessel as well. This is how I see it. A lot of exploring and discovering. I don't see myself a sailing boat sailing alone in the sea or a boring, I don't know, I'm not saying other vessels are boring, but like a very complicated multimodal vessel. I mean, yeah, but I see myself a cruise vessel.
A fun vessel.
Fun vessel. Yeah, that gets together everybody, but it's also big and challenging. Yeah.
What other advice do you give to women?
First, to find the right support system around her. Yes, I am with this saying of strong, independent women. Okay, I'm not against it at all, but it's never a woman alone. It's women supporting women, and it's also men supporting women. So you need to first see what do you like, what do you love, and go for it. And I think your story is one of those interesting that I've heard. I mean, hearing your story that you were in the industry working in a company, just doing the day-to-day job, and now shifting to what you love and doing what you love is also a great example. And this is what I think each woman should do. Just follow the opportunity that they see in terms of what they like and what they love, and try to be around a support system that supports her to achieve what she wants at the end of the day. And of course, I mean, work on yourself and evolve yourself, but also find the right people around you to support you.
In that journey also for me, it's been also the people like, okay, I wanted to do something and I felt my heart is guiding me to take some more risks and take an adventure. But it's also that people along the way who I've met who were inspired by that or encouraging me to do it. And sometimes these small self-doubt thoughts that you hear, it's sometimes nice to get a little bit of a push. We're like, okay. And
yeah. I mean, everyone in life needs a push, right?
Yes.
I mean, yes, sometimes you need to listen to the negative. I'm not saying no, definitely, because this is where you work on your weaknesses, let me call it like that, or your challenges. But also from time to time, being supported is very important in your growth.
Is there a story also where you felt that support factor affected your choices?
It is the continuous change. I mean, in my career, I've been switching between different places and positions, and it had some volatility in terms of, even though I was still in the same industry, but I've been shifting around a bit within the same, even within the same company. But in general, it is about making sure that I don't see any barrier, let me call it like that, in anything I'm given, in any role or any responsibility I'm given. So I never thought, I'm the only woman in the room. I never thought that this is a barrier. I always tried to put in my mind, I need to overcome this, even if it is the fact. And sometimes you have these feelings, Ya Allah, I'm the youngest, I'm the only woman. You know, like you have these things. And I always told myself, I have to overcome those. I have to focus on my strength. And that's where I basically focused. So when I took the role of a terminal manager, this was a changing point in my career, and I was young at that time, relatively young, and I was the youngest among a lot of people, and I was a woman, and I had to prove myself, and lucky enough I did for 7 years, and this is where I decided, and I saw that I need to stick to my strength and make my knowledge stronger and focus on that in general, and not focus on any negativity around.
Was it intimidating when you just joined, and then you came from a different background and so young, and they must be talking some different language? What are these abbreviations?
I heard a lot. I mean, she's young. I mean, like, like sometimes I have some people coming to see me sometimes for a meeting, and they don't know me. And then they said, when they meet me, I mean, they think that I'm the front side, I'm the secretary, I'm the person taking notes in the meeting or something. And then they realize, no, I mean, she is the manager, she's the one in charge. And these are some funny instances that happened to me early in my career. But to be honest, they played the double role, like being a woman sometimes gives you an advantage because especially in our industry, you tend to have less people cursing around you because there's a lot of things going around. But the challenges were there, but also, as I told you, there was... I was lucky to have actually support from the management I worked with at that time, and this was an opportunity for me because it did push me a lot. I learned a lot from them as well. They were great mentors to me, and this is I believe is very important. Was very important in shaping my and supporting me throughout my career. And definitely I worked on myself a lot, especially when you are dealing with people that are more experienced than you in terms of the number of years of experience, in terms of the age, in terms of the gender as well, and dealing with different stakeholders as well. It's not only the internal ones. You have to deal with the government, with the port authority, with the customs, with all these authorities. This made me stronger. And made me overcome like all these small things that might come your way.
I agree with that, and I have also experienced how being able to face different stakeholders really builds you up differently, because you learn to grow different kinds of skills. You learn how to listen better and to zoom out of the situation. So it creates certain depth to the way you think and you work. And I've also had that privilege that many doors were opened for me by colleagues who were men, and they gave me space because oftentimes I was the only lady in the room. So they're like,
you start.
What do you think about it?
Exactly.
So that's also really fun. I ask because I want to also break some of the biases as well. And how is it when you have kids and when you are busy in Maritime? How do they see it? And does it affect also what they want to do?
I'll tell you a funny story about this. When we moved to UAE, there was some time that I was not engaged in any work. I mean, I left my job in Lebanon. I was still working, but remotely. But I was not going. Like they are used to me. Used to me waking up every morning, going to the port, coming back. And then we were going to Abu Dhabi when we first came, and my son saw the cranes at Jebel Ali port. This was after 4 or 5 months, and he was like, "Mom, there's a port here. Why don't you come and work here?" And I was like, "Khalas, they are used to me in this area. So even then, they are so much affected by me being there, to the fact that when they saw a port, they said, 'Mom, come and work in this port.'" So yes, I mean. As I said, having a support system is very important because you definitely need support with travel, with all these things. And thanks to my husband, he's very helpful in taking care of the kids. But the kids, they just get used to it. My mom is on a call. My mom is busy. She's at work. They just get used to it. And it's interesting. And they just take a lot from you as well when you are a working woman, and specifically, as I said, in my in this industry, you need to be in the role I was playing. I had to be taking calls at night. A lot of men working around me as well, so they get used to that, and they like it. And when I used to take them to the port with me, my elder son, my little one was very young when I was in Lebanon, but he used to like it. I mean, go around the port, see the cranes, the containers, all these things. So
adventure.
So yeah.
We oftentimes joke, Max and myself, when we have so many calls and our dog is just sleeping in the corner. And we are joking that by now he became a maritime decarbonization specialist. Because
exactly. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's a reflection, at the end of the day, the kids are a reflection of you. And striking this work-life balance is not easy, and whoever says it is just saying things just to say things. It's not easy. It needs a lot of effort to be done, and you will have to get used to the fact that you have to be responsive to your work. Because your work is a 24/7 operation when it comes to me. I have my husband. He also works in the media industry, which also requires being also available sometimes on weekends, sometimes at the middle of the day, and so on, in the middle of the night, sorry. And at the same time, you need to spend time with your family, with your kids. So that's why you need to explain to them, what do you do? They need to appreciate it. I mean, they are so young for that. At least my kids are 9 and 5. They're very young. But still, I mean, they do understand that when there's work, there's work. And when we have time to spend together, this is time for us together. And this is where you need to, as a person as well, try to... It needs a lot of work, at least with me, because I'm a bit workaholic. Let me put it like that. I didn't want to say that, but it slipped. but yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to wake up and say, it's time for family. And that's it. Mm-hmm. And just focus and give it the time that they need, because they do need us as well. And then at the same time, not compromise your work. So yeah, it needs a lot of effort.
I'm finding it very hard to take a distance, to be honest. sometimes I go to sleep late and I'm still thinking and solving the work in my head, and it's not good.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, okay, I don't know how I would be able to fit kids into all of this as well. But when you have to, you fit it. Like, you find a way to organize yourself.
Exactly. Because every challenge, I mean, it's like any challenge you have in work. Like now, if you get a project and it's a big one and you're just stuck, you have to do it. You're going to do it, right? Because you're focused, you're going to put your mind into it. And I always tell them, 1 kid, 2 kids, and then you start thinking, when you think backwards, how did I do all this? I used to wake up at 5 a.m. I used to go to sports and then come back, take the kids to the school, and like all this routine, go to the office, come back. And yes, at some point you can.
Well, managing a terminal teaches you something about organization and
yes,
systems.
It does, indeed.
And efficiency.
Yeah.
How do you see the future?
The industry has evolved a lot in the past 5 years, and it's really interesting to see how many companies have evolved in the past, I think, 5 years. In the last report I was reading, it was surprisingly to see how many companies has evolved into the technology supporting sector within the industry. And there are quite at least top 50 innovative companies that are very new. And then you see how much existing companies are investing in technology and artificial intelligence and machine learning and all these titles. So yes, the industry has evolved a lot and continue to evolve with all the challenges that are coming in, and the regulations and the requirements that are also being put by the different organizations. But also, if we want to look at the big picture today, and as I heard it in one of in a recent interview with the Singapore Port Authority, they were saying digitalization is no longer good to have. It is a survival strategy. So today, some countries and some places around the world are considering digitalization as a must, because this is the only way you can survive in the industry with all the innovation that is happening and all the automation that is happening. Like in China, huge automation is happening. So this is where you see today all the investments that are being put into the industry are in this sense. Also, the new ports that are being built, the new ships that are being also manufactured, that are being built as well, are supporting digitalization, decarbonization, all these alternative tools that would optimize the process in general, and they will have to move towards this this change. And we have seen also, I think, flexibility is very important, because you need to be flexible and to be adaptable to any changes that are upcoming, and you need to educate yourself a lot about technologies that are in the industry. So yeah, the future is for technology. I'm not an expert in decarbonization, but I know that also a lot of efforts are being done in terms of going green and zero carbonization, because also, if we want to look at the statistics and the numbers, and even though today it's only 3% of the total emissions from this industry, but in 2050, if nothing happens, it will become 17% as per one of the statistics. So basically, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but also there's a lot of work that is already being done, and then a lot of investments. And this is where different players are. You would see a lot of a lot of investments being done in technology and automation. And this is how I see it.
The regulations were the ones who were pushing for more transparency, and that was driving digital transformation in many ways. And now the development of technology and AI is so fast that there's an element of FOMO that is kicking in. So companies in different countries know that they really have to move along the path fast so that they don't get left behind.
Exactly.
And luckily, that is working hand in hand with all the efforts around decarbonization, because that too needs a lot of data for informed decision making.
And you know, like I don't think achieving decarbonization alone with like all these alternative fuels and all these, resources. I mean, yes, this is one thing, but digitalization is very important, because this is where you tend to optimize the process. So when we are talking about the port, for example, I've seen, like for example, having a port community system with a proper appointment system for vessels when they arrive and all these things, and being able to turn around a vessel very quickly and saving 25 minutes of the vessel turnaround time can save you around 6 tons of CO2 emissions. So imagine. So yes, digitalization is very important. Having a paperless environment as well, all through the process of the container and the vessel is also by itself decreasing CO2 emissions. So yes, they go hand in hand. I fully agree with you. And even when you look at all these new companies emerging in the industry, it is smart shipping and smart ports. These are the two sectors that are very important. And within them, it's a lot of things that would help you to, a lot of technologies that worked into the decarbonization, all these titles, let's call it like that. So, yeah.
And which of these makes you the most excited about? Is there a specific technology or a specific project that you're working on?
I mean, in general, we are. There's not a specific thing, but it is in general AI. I mean, the introduction of artificial intelligence today, it's a world that I think on a personal level, I see that is very interesting, and it does shape. It will shape the industry, let me put it like that. There's a lot of tools that today are not being fully utilized by the users. And I think there's a lot to be done there, a lot of learning and a lot of testing and a lot of added value that can come from artificial intelligence, I think. So yeah, this is it has been the topic of my ongoing researches in the past period.
I noticed that people in this region are very optimistic about AI, and then sometimes in other regions when I speak to people, they're scared of it and they're anxious about what the future holds. But here people seem to be very excited about it.
Yes, I mean, if you can increase safety, decrease the workforce, it's not about decreasing the number of workforce that is working with you, but it's also providing people with better solutions for them to work better. Now, shifting a bit from artificial intelligence, it's also about automation. So having, for example, in ports, remote control equipment can make you hire people to work in the office, which creates a better working environment for them, a safer one, even for their body, for their mental health, etc. Safety, not being there around between equipment and containers moving. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be added from these technologies and the predictive technology of AI. I mean, yes, there's a lot that we don't know. That's why we have to educate ourselves a lot and see what's going around and understand it more.
Which resources would you recommend, or either about maritime in general, about industry, the trends, like how to educate ourselves.
In our industry, you tend, for example, to learn a lot from the aviation industry, because like all this scheduling and real time programming and scheduling of vessels, and all this has been adopted from the aviation industry, and there's a lot to learn from that industry. A lot of synergies that can be also implemented into the maritime industry. I'm just putting one example, but yes, I mean there's a lot that we can learn from other industries. It's also important to see what is being implemented, what are the, like when we're talking about technology, for example, you would go and see what are the technologies being implemented in other industries as well. And maybe you will be the first one to think, this is something that we can get and implement in our industry as well. And this is how things have started to come into the industry. So yeah, I think I strongly believe that you can have synergies through.
Yeah, they lose others. A bag, we lose a container.
Yeah, I mean, right? True.
Yes,
true. It is.
Well, do you have any questions for me?
I mean, I think I would like to hear from you, from your perspective as well. How do you think? What is needed actually to support women more in this industry?
This is maybe what I'm trying to achieve partially through the podcast as well. But I think fundamentally, when we see each other in one another, then we create this level of compassion and empathy that makes us more receptive to understand what the other people's journey is and what they need, and to pay attention, because in today's world, I think people overall feel so much pressure to be everywhere, do everything, be at the top of their game. And then because of that optimization to perform, we miss out to notice stories and people and their personal journey. And naturally we would, but we just have to kind of like limit what we expose ourselves to. And I think that through creating that bridge, we are able to create a community. And then I believe that naturally our core intention to help and to be there for one another appears. And then from there, the ideas flow, and then the collaborations happen, and that leads to change and transformation.
No, definitely. No, interesting. I mean, yeah, I do agree with you. And I always... and just speaking about that basically we tend to be running and thriving to do everything, specifically women. And we spoke a bit about this, like having being a mother and a working woman, and also a wife, and a support system for your family, and all these things. And sometimes you just need to just pause and just say, there's no need to do everything,
Yeah. Thank you
so much.
The
Thanks
conversation.
For you as well.
And I'm sure that we will inspire some and maybe create that element within each other. And I'm looking forward to meeting you again in Dubai.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.